Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. It's your Coruscant Underworld Police, disheveled APGAINS. I'm just tired. It's been a long couple days. We're gonna talk a little bit about shifting meta, a little bit about long-term planning. I really feel, I don't know if stressed is the right word because it's a video game, but like if we exclude all facets of life outside of Galaxy of Heroes, which I'm sure we're all very used to doing at this point in our lives. This is a stressful point. As you guys know, a lot of the success we've had in the past has been because of fantastic long-term planning, only working on things that we know give value and give value long-term, right? We don't just farm Galactic Legends, we farm the best Galactic Legends. We don't just farm teams, we farm the best teams. We don't just, relic every team to Relic 7, we apply relic. We're very efficient, especially with ships. And we're at a point right now where there's a lot of stuff going on. We got Conquest going on right now. I've been a little behind on Conquest, unfortunately, which comes with a great ship. I did, source $10 from the fans to get the Conquest pass because I believe the ship is good, and I'm not going to go super serious, so I'm going to be a little bit lacking on crates and stuff like that. You can call me a dirty whale or whatever. It's someone else's money, so I don't really care. So we got the Conquest ship going on. Malgus is going to be more readily available because he's going to be improving grounds. There's TB going on. There's a new raid coming. Is that going to come with Relic 10? Is that going to come with new characters? Is that going to come with who knows, right? But this is a very interesting point because of two things. And we're going to start with ships here because I believe that ships is the most valuable part of this. And we'll talk a little about characters and a little bit about some long-term planning and stuff like that because it's going to kind of all tie together here for a second. But let's think about ships specifically. So obviously, the early game meta is just who has more teams. You have more teams, early game, you're doing great. The mid-game meta has always been ships. If you have more ships, you're doing great. The end-game meta has always been, do you have more money? If you have more money, you're doing great, right? So, we're technically over 6 million, so we're in the end game. So, ships are not as important as money, but, with the lack of money, we have to replace it with something, and ships is usually the right decision to make if there are opportunities available. Obviously, we have both A-tier fleets, both S-tier fleets, a couple of the B-tier fleets. So now we're at a point where the Leviathan is coming to the game, and it's going to be the new meta, right? Now, I hope we get the same thing that they did with Profundity, where like a month early they announced the requirements, because right now I'm kind of 50-50ing. I'm 50-50ing Ray farm, because obviously you guys know we lost the bet. We got to farm Ray. I'm a man of my word, blah, blah, blah. And also what I believe to be adequate prep for Leviathan. My Sith ships are not great. I'm just going to unlock the Ebon Hawk and just kind of see maybe it's a requirement. It's already a requirement, but maybe it's a requirement to have the Ebon Hawk, but also you have to have a Relic 7 Karth or something like that, right? So I'm just doing a little bit of prep. I imagine these two will either be required or part of the actual fleet, so I'm farming them out. As far as characters are concerned, I'll probably have to gear Sith Marauder, Sith Assassin, Sith Empire Trooper. So I'm just kind of visualizing there. So I'm doing a 50-50 Ray Leviathan prep right now. But the reason that once we get the actual requirements, I'm going to shift 100% to Leviathan is pretty obvious. I'm sure this is not new to any of you guys. You're going to need to get it if you're in that mid-game area and you're already prepped. Like if you already have, let's say you have one of your S-tier fleets, or you're about to have one of your S-tier fleets. Like you have one Executor, you have Profundity, you have one of them, but you're thinking about getting the other. Leviathan's going to be the meta, and so it's going to be the play. Yes, there will likely be 2 R9 requirements, but it's being built with the express purpose of being the best ship in the game. And I'm not just talking about getting it for the 400 crystals and fleets, because like realistically, most shards for you guys who aren't crazy whales, most shards are going to be where, if you have an Executor, if you have a Profundity, you're still going to be able to make top 5. Like even if there's 10 Profundities, like you can still beat it with the Executor. Even if there's 10 Executors, you can beat it with Profundity. Now, you're still going to be able to get okay crystal income. It's not going to be incredibly important, but it's more for GAC. A lot of fleets, the reason fleets are so great is because GP growth and player intelligence are like conversely related. Like as GP goes up, the average opponent brain cell seems to go down in my experience, which you would think is counterintuitive because higher GP players have been playing for longer and blah, blah, blah. But oftentimes you get a scenario where people who grow slowly are really passionate about the game, but they're just not spending money. And then the people who just want to, have all the toys because it's more of a collector game for them, which is totally fine. And I'm not disparaging anyone who plays this game to collect stuff. people like that tend to not be great. So you find a lot of people up at the top of the GACs that just have huge GP, but they're not great, and that's why a lot of you guys are playing people with high GPs, but they happen to be in the same GAC division as you. So obviously having the Leviathan is going to be important, but we're also, and this is why I'm talking about kind of like stress at the moment, is because, like, I mean, we basically know that Red 5 is, I mean, a lot of people are giving me shit because, oh, Red 5, like, let me actually just like open up the forums right now, because no one talked about, or at least I didn't see anyone talk about, the latest Red 5 leak, or not leak, but the latest Red 5 hint like a week and maybe a week and a half ago that Meaty Boy put out. But like I talked about, like, Meaty Boy is not like Crumb. Like, Crumb can fuck around and never needs to find out because, he's respected and he's tenured and, he's good at his job. And not to say Meathead's not good at his job. I love Meathead. Some people obviously don't, but he has less wiggle room. It is my estimation that he has less wiggle room, and therefore probably has to be more careful with what he says. So when he makes posts, let me see if I can find it. When he makes posts basically every single 2 weeks hinting at the Red 5, I mean, we know it's coming. We know we're having a new capital ship, and we know that we're getting a Red 5. So the ship meta is going to change. That's not even a CG post. Where is it? Conquest data discs. I think it was before the Road Ahead. Maybe the Conquest Pass update. I'm just going to slowly go through like every single forum post until I can find it. I mean, it's a stupid. Yeah, here it is. Today's update notes, and then he's announcing some bug fixes and stuff. He's got you can't see it, but you just have to take my word. He's got the 5 red words. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so like we know that we're getting a new S tier capital ship. We know we're getting Red 5, which has to be fantastic. I mean, there's no way they're not going to make it fantastic. So putting effort into ships, as long as you have a stable, core roster, is going to be incredibly important. And for all those people who are always like, AP, why do you always preach, the fundamentals? Why do you always preach the 8-pack, building up backbone teams, going GL, S tier ship, GL, whichever you want to do, building out the little Vader thing that I show in my little infographic for the newest farming guide. The reason that's so important is because we get times like this where smart, precise, dedicated, even free-to-play players can take massive jumps over everyone else by, just taking advantage of what's there. And you can't take advantage of what's there if you aren't building, a well-rounded, strong, fundamental roster. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have, and you guys didn't have strong, backbone teams, core 8 teams, maybe you're 1 Galactic Legend, 1 S tier, maybe you're 2 Galactic Legend, 2 S tier, maybe you're 2 GLs, 1 S tier, maybe you're 2 S tier, 1 GL, whatever it is, whatever your strong fundamental roster looks like, this is the moment where you can pick up Red 5, you can pick up Leviathan, you can pick up your Empire fleet with the Interceptor. When I told you guys to do it, none of you guys did it. You can get the TIE Defender to give that a boost. Like, this is the moment. Like, I feel like I'm giving like a Winston Churchill, like World War II rallying. We will fight them in it. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of, if not the most pivotal farming moments in the last 3 years plus, maybe, for mid-game players. And it doesn't matter if you're a free-to-play or a spender, like, you still do the same things, it's just at different times. But especially for free-to-play players, like, this is a pivotal moment to take that next leap. You're in I don't even know what the GAC ranks are anymore. I just know Erodium and Kyber. You're in Erodium and you want to make it to Kyber, this is your chance. You're in Kyber 5, you want to go to 4, this is your chance. You're in 4, you want to go 3, 2, you know what I mean? Like, you're in Chromium. I think Chromium's under Erodium. I'm not 100% sure. But let's just imagine that Chromium, you're in Chromium and you want to make that jump into Erodium. Like, this is your chance. If you're a mid-game player, if you're a free-to-play player, if you're over 4 million GP, which I know a lot of you guys aren't, and we have videos for people of every singular GP range, so don't feel left out. But this is your chance. Okay. I have a couple more days before my Vegas trip that I am not yet confirmed for, but if you want to help me get there, click on this link right here, fill out a little Google form. You can meet with me. My work will be so happy that I'm doing such great business, and I will get to go on an all-expense paid trip to Vegas and have a vacation that I much needed because I'm so sad inside. As always, I love you, and I will see you later.